Hi team, Michael, Fellas Travels. Look, honestly, I don't know what the world's coming to. Well, I don't know what Australia's coming to anyway. But I'm sure they're just taking the piss. So, some of you may have seen the cruiser come to a bit of an ordinary end of trip with losing the wheel and doing a few $1,000s worth of damage. But I don't get... I'm going through a really reputable, one of the big insurers in Australia. In fact, I used to work for them, but I won't say who they are. You may be able to work it out. But they've got this thing where it has to go in a holding yard until it's assessed and can go in. Well, all it needs doing is simply the brake assembly and such, rebuilt on the left-hand rear where it was damaged when the wheel come off. And then the rest is panel damage, but that's all that's stopping it from being driven. So, plane going over. I am near Perth Airport. Beautiful park, this one, by the way. So, for the sake of a day's work, I suppose, to repair the damage and replace the parts on the rear end, which would make it drivable again, they wanted to go into a holding yard for 6 weeks, which is ridiculous. Can't they see how ludicrous that is? I don't understand, this whole system. And it's a matter of basically they take it in, they do the assessment, and it sits there. And I live out of basically my car and my camper because, as you know, I'm travelling full time and I prospect quite a bit of that time. To have the car just sit in a holding compound, whether it be under shelter or not, I think they do have secure areas for them until it can be assessed and then repaired. And they're talking about, to get it back on the road the end of January, but that is mostly to do with the panel work. But what I did find out after looking at the policy and such is that I can choose my own repairers. So I've taken it into my hands to get it done as quickly as possible, which is something that I'm really paying through my insurance. And it's a hefty insurance, by the way, because I've got the top of the line insurance, new for old replacement. I've coordinated with the insurance company in Toyota, and I've got it into Toyota to be repaired. So don't get me wrong. The insurance company, they're pretty good to deal with to a degree. I think they all have their own idiosyncrasies you have to work through, but as long as you keep shit together and don't get angry with them and start abusing the person on the end of the phone, because it's not their fault. They're just trying to work by the policies in place. Generally, you can find your workaround. But long story short is, I've managed to get into Toyota, and I'm expecting it'll be a repair before Christmas because they shut down in about 2 weeks. And it is probably 5 hours work if they've got all the bits and pieces on board, which the parts. I've found that Toyota, have the things that are very much consumables. They tend to have them in stock, or they can get them fairly quickly. But I've been waiting for 2 days now, 3 days actually, I think, to hear back on what's happening with the vehicle. And I'm told that, but I was told by the girl at the counter that they have to haggle with the insurance company. They go back and forth on costing, which is just doesn't make any sense to me. We're not bartering for food here, or we're not trying to, beat the end of the price on the new car. Parts are parts, and you pay for them and you put them on and charge the labour. So I'm waiting on that to happen, but it's a slow process. And once it's done, I'm going to ask for the vehicle back, and I'll arrange my own panel beater and try and have it booked in, and then I'll just a matter of taking in, getting assessment. Then I'll just take the vehicle in on the day it's booked in, leave it with them, and 3 days later the vehicle's done and I'll go and pick it up. This whole 6-7 week thing where it sits in a holding bay just so they can be assessed and then sits there till they can take it in, it doesn't make any sense to me. Whoever thought up their policy, they're just taking the piss, I reckon. Admittedly, they give them, I'm on the top policy and I get a hire car, but that don't help because I live in that vehicle's full drive, and I needed to be in Adelaide by the 12th of January, and that ain't going to be happening. So anyway, they're taking the piss. For what you pay, geez, I'm paying a hell of a premium, and so I get all those extras like, you know, a hire car for the duration, you know, like it's not only the first 2 weeks, it's a hire car for as long as I need it. And cover the cost of Uber transport, you know, if I need to travel to and from a location to pick and drop the car off and such. Hey, anyway, you know, what's your thoughts? I can remember back in the day, you know, you get a bloody great dent in your car, and as long as it's drivable, you drive in the assessor, but you drive into a workshop, they do a quote on it, and they say, yeah, we can book it in for, you know, middle of next week, mate, and you take it home, drive back the next day, and voila. They'd work on it. When she's done, you pick it up. I can't see it being anything to do with money. No one's going to be earning interest while my car's sitting in a bloody holding bay. Anyway, that's it. I don't see it. I can't get my head around, you know, why everything's so difficult these days, and why you have to organise this stuff yourself, and why you have to chase them. We're paying good money. I've probably paid $6,000 insurance or more since I've had this vehicle, so go figure. Anyway, guys, I'll leave you with it. What do you reckon?